guys, so a couple people mentioned to me that they wanted me to do like an instructional cocktail video for you. So I'm going to do something fun from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's called the Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster. Really, it's just my interpretation of it. We're going to start off by icing down our glass here. Use something that is up, so like a martini glass, champagne, something fun. It's meant to be a fancy drink. Don't cheap out on me, okay? Alright, so you're just going to throw some ice and some water in there and let that sit for just a couple minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to just explain a couple of like little things that I did for this drink. So one of the ingredients is seawater. For this, I just took a little bit of filtered water, some lemon juice, and some Himalayan sea salt. Mix that together until it's fully dissolved. The other is supposed to be a lion's tooth, a sun tiger's tooth. For that, I just made my own sugar cube. I used some grenadine and just regular sugar for that, and just compressed it using plastic wrap in my hands. You don't want to add a lot of grenadine to it. I'm talking about like 1 or 2 drops is enough in like a tablespoon of sugar to kind of bind it together. The next thing we're going to talk about is our sprinkle of Zampor, which is not described at all in anything that I've looked up. I used baking soda and sugar. You'll find out why I'm using baking soda at the end. But I did baking soda, sugar, and just, again, a drop of blue curacao. You don't want this cocktail to be super sweet. It's supposed to be a little bit elevated. So now that we've given our glass just a minute or two to chill, we're going to pick it up and just dump all of that out. Now, the first ingredient in a Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster is supposed to be juice from Old Jank Spirit. Again, it's not described, so I decided I wanted to make a cocktail that actually made Malort taste good. So we're going to take your Malort, and similar to like a Sazerac, you're going to just pour a bit in, and then you're going to take and you're going to rotate your glass around and just coat the outside of it. This is going to give it like a little bit of a bitters effect. If you're really adverse to using Malort, please feel free to use like something comparable, bitters. So you want to use like a Campari or an Aperol. Now we're going to dump that and go on to the next part of our cocktail. So one of the things that I described, sorry, somebody's texting me and I'm filming this on my phone. So one of the things that I described was seawater from the Santragnu region. I can't pronounce it. All I did was a little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt, warm water, and some lemon juice, and you're just gonna give just a touch of that. You want about ½ an ounce. Next, we're going to do some Arcturian Mega Gin, which is supposed to come in cubes. Unfortunately, I don't have a fantastic freezer that can freeze alcohol, so we're just going to take some Hendrix, throw it over ice, and just give it a little swirl. Okay, now you don't want to throw any ice into your glass, so take a bar spoon and just, once it's chilled, just pour it in. That's going to be probably 1.5 ounces. The next ingredient is going to be filet and marsh gas. For that, we're just using any Brut or Prosecco. You're just going to top it off a little. It's going to give it a little bit of fizz, and it's going to taste really good. So, after that, in this overly complex cocktail, we're going to take some Rumple Mints, because you're supposed to have a floater of Qualuchian Hyper Mint. And this is honestly the mintiest thing I can think of. So we're going to take and just float that on top, like so, over the back. If you have a silver spoon, it does specifically mention a silver spoon, but if you don't, that is perfectly fine. Again, bar spoons work perfectly for floating things. The next is the tooth of the Angolan Sun Tiger. So that is your compressed sugar with grenadine. You're just going to throw that right in there and let it dissolve. It might need some help, so again, come back with your bar spoon and just give it a little bit of a stir. Don't agitate it too much because the Prosecco or whatever brute you're using will fizz up and cause it to overflow. And it doesn't need to dissolve fully, just enough so that you're getting a little sweetness to combat that malort. And then, again, once again, we're using a bitters here, so you're gonna try to even it out. We've got the sprinkle of Zamfor. So I'm gonna see if I can get a close-up on this one. It's going to hopefully fizz up nicely with the lemon juice that was in there. We'll see. Okay, yeah, see, it's kind of reacting a little bit. I'll throw a little bit more in. And possibly the most questionable thing about this whole cocktail is the fact that it is garnished with an olive. So I just have a manzanilla bar olive here. I'm gonna just dump that in and let it float to wherever it decides to be. And the great thing about a Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster is it's described as having a lemon wedge wrapped around a gold brick, bash your brains out. So I'm just going to throw a little lemon wedge on the side here. And then pardon that it's Corona time and I'm wearing a mask. I'm gonna lift it just to taste it so I can let you guys know if this actually turned out good. So let's just check out our Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster. Oop, lost my lemon. Okay, that is really, really delicious. If anybody is interested in trying one of these, I'm making them to go at Todd Connor's. But if you want to do it at home and you're looking for the ingredients, I can also lead you to some places where you can source them. The malort might be hard to find, but I can help you find Campari pretty easily. Thank you again, and I hope you have an amazing night. And as always, don't panic and remember to carry your towel with you at all times.